Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road, and I am here today to show you a fun new tutorial for a chocolate box covering, and I'm using the Frosty Sparking Paper Collection by Craft a Clock. I created this project as part of their creative team, and I want to show you, it looks pretty simple from the outside. You open it up, you can fill it with whatever candies and chocolates you want. But look, inside there's a little pocket with a hidden folio that you can put photos or journaling or like precious moments, and it makes a really, really nice gift to give. This is also a great way to upcycle some of your empty boxes. Now, I'm using this Frosty Sparking Paper Collection, and this is the 12 by 12 collection. I really want to just show you quickly the papers. This is the Junk Journal Extras set. This is really fun, and I used a lot from the extras set in this project. Some of the quotes and other things. This is the Flowers 22, and these are fussy cut elements. And this is the extras to cut version 2. Lots of really neat holiday images to fussy cut, and this is extras to cut 1. Now, I don't use all these elements in this project, but you'll see them in other projects to come over the next few months. Usually, I get the extras to cut elements and I spend time, just a day or two, in front of the TV while I'm watching fussy cutting them out. This pocket is there from the journals, the Junk Journal set, and the quotes also, and that's the main thing that we'll be using in this project today from this set. Now, this is just an empty chocolate box that I had, and so if you have one laying around the house, or it can be even an old shoe box, these are 2 of the covers from Craft a Clock, and all these items are available at the Sandpaper Road shop, and I will link below to them and also right up here on the screen. Now, the paper comes in a lot of different designs, and as you can see, it appears that the cover will fit just fine, and you really essentially use double-sided tape, and I'm using score tape here, and you essentially just wrap it like you would a present, except for the fact that you really want to tape it directly to the box. If you aren't familiar with the Craft a Clock cover papers, I'm going to try to explain them to you. It's hard to tell, I suppose, in the video. They are much sturdier than regular pattern paper. They're also much longer. Really, they're designed as mini album cover papers. And the company describes them as a laminated paper. I don't know if that's the same word we would use to mean laminated in the United States. I think it's like a treated paper more, I think is more accurate that we would say. It really resists being torn, and it's got sort of a smooth feel to it. So you'll see that when I go to adhere things to the front, that I have to actually use a little bit of sandpaper or a sanding block to roughen that up a little bit. But it's almost like how you would use Tyvek in a mini album, except that it's smoother than that and a little bit thicker than that. But it really resists abrasions and wear and tear and things like that. So if you cover this chocolate box or a shoe box with a cover from Craft a Clock, one of these long cover sheets, you're good to go for several years, if not longer. And I know this is a long time showing just me taping it, but I wanted to have time to tell you about that. Now, as you can see, I am just covering this with a combination of score tape and also adding just a little bit of Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to that. Now, do you see there that the corner is exposed? Okay, I actually chose a medium cover for this part of the project. They have 3 sizes of the covers, and I did not like that corner being exposed. So I actually tore it all apart and chose a large cover and recovered it. So if you're thinking there, see the difference? I recovered it, recovered both sides. And so if you're considering the covers, choose one size larger than you think you might need. Let me just page through these 6 papers that come in the collection. It's a really heavyweight pattern paper, very high quality. And look at these designs. Oh my goodness. Can you just picture the possibilities? Whoa, I zoomed out just a little bit too much. Trying to get used to my new phone and my new laptop. It sure makes everything nice, but tricky sometimes to get used to the technology. Now we're going to cut at 11.5 by 4.25. I also have the measurements in centimeters and the words written in Polish as well. Because like I said, this was part of a creative team project for Craft O'Clock. And I've been part of their creative team since 2019, and I really, really like it a lot. I just really believe in the products. I really like the paper. It's really versatile, and I know I sound like a commercial, but I really believe in it, and it's really, really high quality stuff, and I like it. So what I'm trying to do here is cut a piece that's going to fit inside the chocolate box lid. And even though I provided the measurements just a minute ago, I'm trimming each side trying to get to those measurements with the image that I want isolated in the center. Now, again, you can use any of your favorite paper that you like. Certainly, you don't have to use this paper. It's a great way to use your stash. And so with those measurements, again, this is also the measurements that match this box. So you'd have to kind of measure that based on the box you have on hand. This is a pretty common candy brand in the United States. I see this brand of chocolates almost everywhere, even places as common as drugstores. Now this tape that I'm using is a 1/2 inch wide score tape. And links to these products will be below as well. We tend to be doing a lot more online shopping these days, so hopefully you find those links helpful. And I often add a little bit of liquid adhesive as well, especially for a project like this where you figure there's going to be a lot of movement, opening, putting back together, just a lot of traffic with this project. And I really like the score tape. I've tried lots of double-sided tapes. I have several favorites, but this is probably my favorite double-sided tape. Although I have to say I wish it came kind of in a tape runner. But the trade-off, I would take strong tape over a tape runner tape if that was the trade-off. Do you know what I mean? But I have some others that I like as well. This is just a little plastic piece that I use just to kind of burnish down the paper. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Do you know what the cover paper kind of reminds me of? Is almost like a contact paper kind of a feeling to it. How it's a little bit slick like that. Now this triangular piece here is cut from the Junk Journal Extras set. And I'm just using my scoreboard here to sort of pre-crease the little folds, it's marked really clearly. I just was trying to make life easy for myself. And that is where the pocket will go. I love it. And there's a few different sizes of pockets in that set. I don't think no, I didn't. I didn't open up the extras, the junk journal extras set and show you all the individual ones. But there's lots of variety in there. Neat little things to cut, and junk journal is pretty much a good name for that. So just burnishing down this pocket. And I have to say that I do recommend the strong liquid adhesive to adhere this down. Okay, now I've got another sheet here, and I'm going to cut this sheet at 11 1/4 by 6 1/2. Again, I have it in centimeters, and also language written in Polish as well, but for my Polish audience. There's so many things you could make with this paper. Now, here's where I'm going to try to get that 11 1/4 is this way across. Sometimes it's hard to see on my paper trimmer there. Okay, there's the 11 1/4. I'm trying to do something really specific with the image here. And now I'm going to just turn it to do the 6 1/2 this way. Okay, now that piece we'll save for later, the piece that we cut off. This piece right here, this is the one that we're going to use to create the little accordion fold out. So we're going to score this piece at the following measurements. It's 3 3/4 inches, and then again at 7 1/2. That third and final, that 11 1/4, that's not really a score line because that just shows where the end of the paper is. So here's the 3 3/4 score line, and then I go over and I score again at 7 1/2. That right there is not really needed. It's 11 1/4. Yeah. So, or if you're working with centimeters, that last one is it just shows you where the end of the paper is. And then you just simply fold it over and you get a really nice little accordion fold. I don't do too much with this accordion fold in the video because the paper is pretty much already decorated. The other side is plain enough that we could add photos. And this is what will go in the pocket. Look at that. I love it. I love it. It's great. So fun. That would be such a nice surprise in a gift. Now, here are all the extras. I have these trays. They're actually, I used to work for a nonprofit, and it was a medical nonprofit. And so they would get medical supplies in, and these are actually like medical supply trays. And so that's what I used to sort out all my pieces. Now this piece, this was the one that I said we were going to save for later, remember? Well, we're going to cut this at 11 1/4 by 4 1/4. Or if you work in centimeters, then you can see those measurements there. Okay. And this is going to be to cover and decorate the front of the box. That is like so perfect. That is just so perfect. Now, here's what I was saying earlier. I have like a sanding block, or maybe you just have a piece of just regular sandpaper. And I'm just lightly going over just a few swipes over the front just to sort of rough that up. I mean, just a bit. And I'm going to add a combination of the double-sided tape and the liquid adhesive. I mean, I really love the simplicity of this project. Again, this is a tutorial for the project itself. Of course, I feature the paper that I love, but you could do this with any paper you already have. And it would be a great gift to give. So just a little combination of the double-sided tape. And of course, I dropped my lid into the wet glue. And right on top there. And then I'm going to burnish this down. And then we get to get into the fun part. With the decorating. Now this is a piece that it's on the pattern paper, like the large paper collection, but this particular piece is from the junk journal set. And I liked the scale size of it. So I am going to use some die cut. This is just a rectangle die that I had. It's got a stitched edge. And I'm going to just cut that out. Give it a little, I like the stitched edge. So, and that'll look really good right there. I like to over decorate with the flowers and all the extras and stuff that come with the sets, but I try to be mindful that, I try not to overdo it, but sometimes I just can't help myself. Yeah, that's nice. So we've got that fold on the inside. We've got the nice covering on the outside. I think for a minute there I thought I was going to do something with the accordion, with the little folio that's inside. Or I might be looking for some ribbon or something. Oh, no, I know what I was doing. I was seeing if what size photo fits in there. So in the USA, we tend to use the 4x6 photos. You could see this. That is a little bit, that's more like a 3x5, a little bit larger. The little template I have there is, there a wallet size would be good for a photo. Like a 2.5 by 3 3/4 photo is a nice size. Really, a larger photo, that's not good. And you won't fit a 4x6 on there. You could crop it down. A nice 3x5, I think, would fit. The 4x6 is no good. You're going to be good with a wallet photo or more like a 3x5 in your folio. So just to get yourself ready ahead of time if you're using these measurements. Now this project, this is the first draft you're seeing. I thought about it for a little bit and then just gave it a try and it worked out fine. So if you're nervous about trying like a paper craft project or you just don't think you're creative enough or whatever, just give it a try. I mean, nothing's going to happen. Look, I found this punch and I thought for a minute that I was going to be creative and use like punched circles around there on it, and I didn't end up using them. I saved them, but I didn't use them on this project. There were just so many other beautiful extras. Sometimes I think I get overwhelmed because of the paper. So pretty. I mean, look at these flowers. You could just go on and on and on and on with the flowers. It's so nice. Now, I did have to think to myself, okay, Erin, now think. On the inside of this box, you've got this folio. There might be photos, but essentially we're making a chocolate box. We're not making a scrapbook right now, or a shadow box or something. So I had to just keep telling myself, just keep it sort of flat. Keep your project as flatter than normal, with the exception of the outside cover. So I did glue down without dimensional foam or anything like that, just straight flat down this flower embellishment there. And that is good. I'm really happy with that. It looks great. That's fine. A lot of these embellishments sort of speak for themselves. Now here's the fun part. I say fun part. It's all fun, but I really like just getting in there with the flowers and the extras and all that, and just kind of playing around with the look of it. There's leaves that you can cut, and I have to say that if you are not a fan of fussy cutting, I would imagine that this would look a little frustrating or look like, oh, well, never mind, I could not do that. But I will say that if you have a Brother scan and cut machine, one of my fellow team member friends on the Craft O'Clock team, she has a scan and cut, and she showed us all a little video on her, like on our group Facebook page of, she's like, I got my new toy today, and she shared how the Brother scan and cut was cutting out all of her extra sheets, and we were all jealous. But so I have seen it work. I don't have that machine yet myself. Christmas is coming though, you never know. So, and I personally don't mind to fussy cut elements. I find it relaxing. Now, I will also say that just because you could get away with fussy cutting maybe one or two of the flowers, per project. You certainly don't have to sit for days at a time and cut like I do. Or if you have dies, shape dies, you could cut out sections, and just have, like, did you see how I had that circle punch? You could cut out circles featuring some of the designs in there. Or even use it as more varieties for other pattern papers, like using the extra sheet instead of cutting out individual shapes from the sheet. You could use it as just an extra sheet. Now, did you see there how I sort of bent the flower like that with my thumbs? I'm just giving it just a little bit of dimension. I've seen this done in a bunch of different ways. I'm going to actually show you another way to do it in a few minutes, but just maybe that first one, you could do this with your thumbs, just sort of give it a little bit of, just a little bit of dimension, not too much. We'll have time to give it dimension in just a minute, but that first base layer, I'm going to just try to get relatively flat. Okay, this is a basic piece of foam, and you could use the back of a Sharpie. I have a metal stylus that I like to use, or you could use like the end of a pen, a closed pen, and you just put the paper on the foam and just press onto the paper in small circles, and then you can use your hot glue gun to adhere it, and you'll get a really, really nice dimension. It looks really good. Let me show you another one here. I think I've shown this before in another video, but it's always nice to see it again. And the foam, I don't know where I got it. It's probably out of some packaging or something, but you just push down. You could use the end of a pen, like I said, the end of a Sharpie, and press down and not too hard, sort of like lightly pressing circles around, and you could just see how that helps the flowers just curl up just a little bit. Then it's cool because in the middle of the flowers you could put, like, I don't know if you have some Nuvo drops or some stickles or other little like floral like decorations or something you could put in the middle, or a button or a decorative brad or something like that. It look really, really good. And the glue gun, by using the glue gun, then you can just put hot glue on the edge and slide more embellishments just right in between the little cracks. So I really like to use my glue gun to create dimension, but not if I'm using like legacy pictures or, you know, things I want to preserve like forever. And a lot of this is just trial and error. When it comes to this part, I don't really have a plan ahead of time. I just sort of start and then just continue on. And that hot glue, it is hot. So if you want to push down, did you see how I just used the end of the Sharpie just to press right in the middle there to get that flower secure? I wouldn't use my finger. Learn from experience that you'll sizzle your finger. And there you can see I just used the Sharpie. It's the same. It'll end up the same way. Looks really nice. Doesn't this look good with like the layers of the flowers and the little pine cones and little leaves? I just think that looks so beautiful. Whatever pattern paper you have that you're using, look again at it. Look and see. Oh, there I was showing you about how to create something that's pleasing to the eye, like multiples of 3. I had little red berries, like little colors of red, 1, 2, 3. Top, then the straw, then the bottom left. But look again at your pattern papers and see, is there some sort of element or some flowers or something like that that you could use to cut out and try something similar. This is some fine glitter. Pixie dust glitter from Creekbank Creations is what it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a little grade school traditional type stuff, a little dot of regular liquid glue, nothing fancy, nothing special, no fancy tools, and then a little bit of this glitter right in the middle of the dot of glue. I just couldn't think of anything else I wanted that looked better than just something simple like that. I put that little piece of craft cardstock. I thought I was going to dump the excess glitter out. I thought, no, I better wait and make sure that it dries all the way before I start dumping stuff out. Now, when I cut all the quotes out, here's what I do. I cut them apart in strips, but I don't cut the strips apart individually till I'm ready to use them. And it just is helps me keep them organized a little bit better, because those quotes are really small. They do come with English on one side and Polish on the other. So if you're ordering this from the Sandpaper Road shop, don't be dismayed when you're like, hey, what is this? Because it does come from Poland. Really nice. Now, if you're a card maker, you'd really like these quotes too, because you could make just a ton of cards in one sitting. If you're a scrapbooker, I know you'd like these as well, because you could take, do you ever see like on certain scrapbook layouts, or maybe you've made some like this yourself, where you take quotes and just sort of arrange them in one specific concentrated area on your page, almost like a ladder going up or down. maybe 5 or 6 just small quotes all up and down in a small concentrated area. It looks really good if you need a space to fill. Great under photos to highlight little moments and things, just little small accents. I truly can't believe what a difference just adding a quote or a sentiment makes. If it didn't look good already, just you add this just 3 or 4 or 5 little small quotes and it just looks great. So I'm just adding these quotes to the for like a final finishing touch here with just some of this liquid glue. It's really, really nice. It looks good. I'm really, really pleased with the way this looks. I'd love to try this on other size boxes and for just other things. There's our final look at our little folio. I think while that glitter is drying, I'm going to add a quote or two to the one side of the folio. Now, if you've stuck with me this long, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and make sure to stay tuned to the very end of the video where I'll show you some close-ups of the finished product. And also, don't forget to check the description box for links to Sandpaper Road, where you can find me on my blog and on social media, and you can visit the shop if you're interested in this Frosty Sparking Paper Collection and the covers. They're available shipping within the USA at the Sandpaper Road shop. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. There are tutorials that show step by step, as easy as pie, and hopefully you'll venture into some of these projects for yourself. Yeah, I definitely hope you give it a try. It's really easy. So fun. And can you imagine who's going to get this gift? I know who I'm giving this gift to, but I don't want to say because I want her to be surprised. This is my favorite part, is dumping the chocolate into the box and making sure that they taste okay. I have to test a few of them myself to make sure that they're okay to contribute into the box. And that looks beautiful. I love it. Then I finish it off with a simple ribbon from my stash. Just tying it, nothing fancy. Yep, it looks great. I love it. Easy to make. Amazing. The person can keep the box out at holiday time as part of the display. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm so happy you spent some time with me watching this tutorial. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It is free, and then you'll be notified of all new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.